So guys, now that I've sold my van, it's time to try out boat life. And what a better way than to sail away with Skateaway. Transitioning from van life to boat life. Definitely a lot of differences. Number one, you're very reliant on weather and tides when you live on a boat. It pretty much just like controls your life.
So it looks like a big storm's on its way down the coast. So we're gonna change the plans and we're gonna boost it all the way down to Yeppoon.
Which means about how many hours?
Well, it's like nearly 120 miles. So it could be like 24-hour sail if we do 5 knots.
So if winds are really strong, you need to go seek a place where your boat's not going to be slamming into the island, slamming into other boats, slamming into reef. The stakes are a bit higher when you live on a boat. And then tides as well. Definitely here in Australia, the tides are constantly changing. Maybe you were on land, you went for a coffee or something and you were gone too long and all of a sudden your little dinghy that is meant to take you to your boat, because obviously you don't just swim back to your place, maybe you do. It could be that the tide has gone so far out, kind of stuck sitting on land until the tide comes back up and you can go back home. Accidentally got ourselves beached. Thankfully we are in a catamaran so they actually can be beached. And now we're just kind of waiting until the tide comes back up so we can move it back into the water. Maybe in a van you're like trying to figure out, where do I park? Where do I sleep at night? Which, fair enough, but you do the same thing in a boat. It's a bit easier because in a boat it is free. You can anchor wherever you like for free, and there's also a lot of public moorings. Being on a boat is definitely more private. You get to have your own space away from everyone if you choose. But you can do the same thing in a van, really. I just find with the van, it's very extremely social. That's why I loved it. You can try to get away and get your own space, but what seems to happen is when another van sees you or you see another van, like they just flock towards each other. It's a really cool and beautiful thing because you constantly are surrounded by amazing people and meeting new people, and it's very social. Like, we all need community in our lives. With a boat, it's definitely not as social. You can meet people. It's a lot easier when you're maybe at a port and you're docked and there's a bunch of boats around and people tend to meet each other. It's really good safety-wise as well. Like, you know, you meet your fellow neighbors if you're parked around them for a bit, and anything that goes wrong, if you're not on the boat, they can jump on and fix it, and everybody kind of does it for all the boaties. You can't exactly just leave your boat. I forgot how the saying goes, but they say like it's a dead boat if nobody's using it, because probably the same as a house or even a van. I've left my van a few times. When you seem to leave it and you come back, everything seems to break. You have to be really handy. If things go wrong, you need to be able to fix it, and fix it with the tools you got, and hopefully you've got internet and you can YouTube something how to fix it, but you might not. You might be in the middle of the ocean trying to fix a problem and you can't fix it, whereas in a van, you break down, you can call for help, or maybe you're not in service, but you could, you know, you probably will see a car drive by at some point. Like, it's a lot easier to get materials and to get help when you're on land. In terms of cost, I would say a boat is way more expensive. Equally, they break down as much, maybe a boat a bit more, because constantly things are moving around, so things keeps getting shuffled. Saltwater just corrodes, damages everything. So with boats, it's more expensive, just the materials. Everything being marine grade is like, it's like they double, triple the price. Another difference between the boat and the van is your waste. When you're on a boat, you have to be really methodical about all your trash, because especially if you're going out for weeks, you don't want to just have bags full of trash just building up in your boat and you have nowhere to dump it. So what we've started doing with the boat is, like, you go to the grocery store, and I don't know why, they wrap everything in plastic, multiple times in plastic before we leave for trips, is take all the plastic out, rip everything open and put them in glass jars and store it on the boat. Garbage that we can burn, so any papers, cardboards, or whatever, we'll put aside, and then if we're anywhere in a place place that we can have a fire, we'll burn it. Living on a boat, you have to be very conscious of everything you're buying and what you're eating and how quick you're eating it, and trying to conserve it depending how long you're gonna be out. Like we've gone out for a few months sails. You can't actually just go out to any supermarket whenever you want and get more fruits and vegetables. So you can start to run pretty low. It does feel a bit like Christmas if we meet another boatie and he's got some fresh fruits and vegetables and they give it to us because they're going to land. It's like the greatest thing ever. So with living in vans, one of the first things I noticed that changed about myself in a positive way was how much more conscious I became of the earth. I'm collecting my own power and I'm reliant on the sun, and if there's no sun, I have no power, and that's just life, and not just being able in a click of a button, I've got power because, you know, I pay for it. No, I have to actually get it. If I want water, I have to go fetch it. I found I became more conscious about my waste and trash and, you know, everything, and I started to really enjoy it, like kind of just understanding where these things come from, because in a house I don't really question it. I don't know, my water bill, everything, it's just paid for, it's in the rent. I don't really think much about it, and yes, I still cared about the planet, but not as much until I lived in a van. And then going to a boat is like, I feel 10 times more. This is a bit of a random one. Probably gonna get a lot of comments about this, but I don't shower anymore. Now you guys are like, oh, this is disgusting. Or we just jump in the ocean and we just wash ourselves with the ocean. Like, we still scrub our bodies and scrub our hair, but just in the ocean every day. I think about maybe a year and a half ago, I stopped using all chemicals, all shampoos, conditioners, all soap. Don't wear sunscreens. I've stopped using a lot of chemicals that I normally used to, and I've definitely noticed a huge difference. In the beginning, you jump in the ocean, the first thing you want to do is wash yourself with fresh water and get all that stickiness off. But over time, I don't know what seems to happen, but it's like the composite of your skin changes, because I don't get sticky anymore. I actually get smooth. If you don't wash your hair for a while, you know, people might get really greasy hair. I mean, this has taken months to adapt, but it's like almost completely gone. And I don't know if it's something in the salt or whatever. And then every now and then, if we see a creek or we do get access to a hot shower, we'll go take a shower in that fresh water. And we don't, well, I can't really, I guess, vouch for this because, but I don't think we smell. I know Ryan doesn't smell. I think sometimes I can smell a little bit, but I guess what we've really realized, it's so dependent on what you're eating, your diet, and the same thing goes for the sunscreen. I'm not gonna advise anyone not to wear sunscreen because I don't want you to go get burnt, but like, we don't wear sunscreen and we are out in the sun a lot. But if we are drinking alcohol, if we've had a shit food that day, if we had a bad sleep, we will get burnt. But if we've been eating healthy, we are drinking tons of water, we're hydrated, had a good sleep, we don't get burnt. We don't use chemicals even washing our dishes.
The old dreaded dishes, eh?
Huh?
The old dreaded dishes.
All dreaded dishes.
Not that bad on a boat though, eh?
No, it's not bad. We just wash it in the ocean. So we don't use any soap, no chemicals. Actually washes pretty good with the salt water.
I reckon it washes better.
Yeah. And the last and final step is we water our dishes like you would a garden so that they grow. No, I'm just kidding. This is just fresh water.
This is how we get more dishes.
Because that's what you want.
When you lose some overboard, you just water what you got and grow some more.
You just put fresh water and then they grow. That should be. Yeah, it's just perfect, and then we're not damaging any of the animals, and it's just very easy. This video feels like I've been talking for a very long time, so I'm going to stop here. I'm sure there's a lot more things I've missed, but I think I've hit quite a bit, like the big points here. So in the spirit of transitioning from van life to boat life, I figured you guys are owed a bit of a boat tour. So, welcome to the inside of Skateaway. Beautiful, beautiful Skateaway. Inside here we've got the dining room area, living room, hangout, TV room that we never actually use. We just put photographs on top of it. But yeah, here's kind of where we hang out. This actually, we converted it and it turns into a bed. We added this little stand here because we like to do trips with friends and we want to fit as many people as we can on this boat. So this boat sleeps 6 people, but then if we turn this down into a bed, it can sleep 8. So that's pretty cool. Here we've got a deep freezer. That's way too big for this boat, but we do catch a lot of fish. And we eat a lot of fish, so that's why we have this here. If you come with me down one side of the hole, it's So being a catamaran, you've got 2 holes, which is nice for definitely for 2 people living in here because it's nice to have a bit of space. Here's our side of the wing. So I've got a double bed here, and then there's a single bed down this way. Different storage little spaces back there. These are all cabinets that I'm not going to open because it's quite messy on the inside, not going to lie. But lots of storage here and under the bed. Here we've got Ryan's workspace. All the tools needed to fix absolutely everything because everything breaks all the time. So definitely need to have a box of tools, more cabinet space for tools. Oh, and just like my van, we're painting the inside as well and getting friends to paint it. So, which is cool because it turns into now a boat full of memories. And yeah, this is all electric stuff. This is all Ryan's forte. I don't touch, but this is what makes the boat run. Here we've got the toilet, which we are growing a beautiful forest in, trying to make it all feng shui and nice. Yeah, this is more Ryan's doing. And then on the other side, if you want to come here, there is actually a shower, which I think I've used once, and I've lived on this boat for over a year. Yeah, maybe we should talk about that another time. We don't really shower much here. Yeah. Then we'll go over to the other side of the hole. Lots of books, because when you go out of reception, well, you need something to do. We come on this side. We've got the kitchen, which is really nice. Lots of space. Definitely an advantage over being in a van. So I've got a stove here, different cabinet storage space here. Lots more plants. Ryan's really working on trying to grow some fresh vegetables and stuff because when you're out at sea, that's really what you want is fruits and vegetables. And you can't just find that necessarily in the ocean, but maybe some of the islands. We've got some onion growing here, some garlic, native lavender, which grows really well on the boat. There's a lot on different islands. It's been kind of a process learning what can actually grow on the boat because it's not much light and also seawater. But yeah, different storage and stuff in here, more storage here. It's actually a boat that's got pretty darn good storage. So like my van, you can fit quite a bit of stuff in here and it doesn't look like it's crowded. And then this side of the hull, we've got another double bed. And then another single bed. And then more cabinet storage space. And more plants. And sometimes we put vegetables here when we've got like overload of stuff and can't fit it in a fridge. Fridge is on that side. So hard to get through this boat with 2 people. Yeah, so we've got a 12-volt fridge and different more cabinet space storage. Yeah. We try to get as much 12-volt as we can because power, we're obviously living off solar panels. If you come with me on the outside, you've probably seen this more in videos, driving area. We do have an outdoor cooker, which is nice if we don't want to cook on the inside. And then this is like the best part, is the hammocks being on a catamaran. We often, if it's flat enough, we'll bring out a bunch of pillows. We'll sleep out here, we'll have dinner out here, we'll watch the stars. Even when you're sailing, you can just sit out here sometimes and it's really nice. And yeah, that's pretty much the boat. We'll do a more in-depth boat tour on our channel Once Upon a Reef if you want to check that out. But I just did a little quick one, just if you're interested to see the inside. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, found it informative, especially if you're considering maybe living on a boat or in a van, or you're going to transition from van to boat or boat to van. Leave me any comments if you find any of this relatable or interesting, or things you want to know more about and I can make more videos. Definitely check out our sailing channel, as I said in the beginning of this video, Once Upon a Reef, because we're kind of keeping that a bit separate, posting sailing videos there. Yeah, I will see you guys next time.